And welcome back, everyone. We have an update from Eloro Resources. It trades on the OTCQX under the symbol ELRRF and on the TSX under the symbol ELO. It's an exploration and mine development company with a portfolio of gold and base metal properties in Bolivia, Peru, and Quebec. Happy to welcome CEO and Chairman Tom Larsen. Welcome back, Tom. It's been a few months since we spoke, so give us an update.
Yeah, thanks again for having me, Anna. I just wanted to let people know that I don't know how many people have heard the Eloro story if they were at this last conference. In the event that they weren't, I'll be very, very quick just on the introduction, the description of Eloro Resources. We're a publicly traded company on the TSX under the symbol ELO. On the Frankfurt PTQ and OTCQX in the US under the symbol ELRRF. We've been working on a world-class deposit. It's called the Iska silver tin, primarily silver and tin, lead, zinc, the minor metals. But this is in the southern district of the Potosi area in southwestern Bolivia. We've probably raised close to $60 million Canadian in the last 3-4 years of drilling this never before drilled project. The Iska, it's a volcanic edifice, 9.5 kilometers peripheral. And we came out with a very large endowment of metals in what we call the MRE, the Mineral Resource Estimate, that came out over a year and a half ago. 298 million ounces of silver was outlined in situ, 4 million tons of zinc, 1.74 million tons of lead, and 130,000 tons of tin, although that's a very, very underexplored area, but overall contained over 1 billion ounces of silver equivalent. Now, again, this was a first pass inaugural MRE, really drilling out the system to see how open, if it was still open, how extensive it was. The last year and a half, we've been really infilling and moving forward for an economic model, an open pit economic model, and we expect to have that out at the end of the year. I have a slide deck here. I'm just going to move quickly to the latest drill results in regard to our infill drilling. So just bear with me a few seconds here. Right now, we've come out with 3 press releases, basically outlining the 10,000 meters of infill drilling in the upper part of this volcanic structure, where we will again have an open pit model, 1-to-1, 35,000 ton a day throughput. With concentrates being transported bimodally via truck and then rail to the Chilean ports. So the latest press releases, though, we really felt we wanted to improve the grades, primarily of the silver. So we came out November 26th with a major hole discovery, 66 grams silver over 289 meters, not like 10 meters or 20 meters. 289 meters, which is, this is the type of, illustrates just the size of this mineralized system in the center of a collapsed and resurgent caldera within the volcano. If I continue, that was a highlight hole. Then January 6th, we came in with an additional 127 grams of over 41 meters of silver, which from an open pit standpoint, when you're dealing with a very, very low cost environment, especially in Bolivia, on a 1-to-1 stripping ratio, it's $10, $12, $15 a ton on the operating side. So there's big margins on these types of bulk tonnage operations. And if I go to the final press release that we sent out, this is what is a game changer, I believe, to the whole economics, the whole perception of what Iska is all about. The one thing about Iska, we're on the tin belt. It's 1,000 kilometers in length from the Bolivian-Argentinian border directly up. And northwest, entering into the southeastern part of Peru. That's where this tin porphyry system ends. It's like similar to what you see in Chile, Peru, Ecuador, but those are not tin, those are copper porphyries, deep feeders that can create, 40, 50-year mine life type of mine systems. So that's sort of what we're dealing with. We came in with a fantastic hole in the tin. There's a brand new tin area that we've outlined close to 400 or 500 million tons. And within that, we're going to be outlining very high grades tin DSB 72, hole DSB 72, came in with 33 meters grading 1.39% tin. What that means is that's roughly 28 pounds of tin. Tin trades at $14, $15 US a pound. So that gives you an idea of the value per ton, well over $400, $350 to $400 value with 20% recoveries down to 80% with that 20% discount at least. This is because we're in a fine grained, it's a coarse grain, cassiterite type oxidized environment, which is very amenable to gravity, which means better recoveries and much cheaper mining. This is a huge tin hole, some very high grade, small venular type, 6.6% tin, 4.9% tin. And just to give you a quick context, it's very similar to the two world-class tin operations, one 40 kilometers north of Isca, of our company, of our property, on the tin belt. It's called Choroque, and also Minsur, owned by the Brazea Group, one of the largest groups in Peru, the San Rafael tin operation that produces about 8% of the overall tin that's produced annually, around 300,000 tons produced annually. 60-70% of that tin that's produced annually comes from China, primarily Myanmar and Indonesia. So there's a real concern, like the United States, for instance, they consume 50,000 tons of tin with zero domestic source. They rely about 8% of that 50,000 comes from Bolivia. We're in a very, very interesting situation. The next few months will be dedicated to infill drilling this new major tin area. And just to give you a little visual, just to the left of this diagram, we call that the TIB, the Tertiary Intrusive Breccia Zone. It's a feeder from deeper down where the big tin porphyry runs that 1,000 kilometers. It fed the Choroque, fed San Rafael, and it's feeding Isca. This TIB, it's low chargeability. This is sort of an IP survey because it's oxidized, so low chargeability, and that's where tin, high temperature tin cassiterite being oxidized. That's the area that we're now infilling. This also on the western side is the epithermal zone, the eastern side, which is more of the outlying lower temperature metals such as zinc, lead, and quite a lot of silver. So these are two sort of major world-class potential open pit operations that could be combined into one. So very, very exciting times at this stage. Because of the time constraint, I could go on for another half hour, 45 minutes, but maybe there's some time for questions, if there are any out there.
Yeah, absolutely, Tom. We do have some questions for you. Let's talk about what would you expect the production costs of this tin be? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so the tin, the actual, what we're looking at is when the PEA comes out, it's going to be based on a 12 to 15-year mine life, even though these types of systems could go on for 40 years. This is the first sort of phase, to infill, to keep infill drilling to show 40, 50 years, if in fact we have that type of material, which we expect. It would take a lot of infill drilling, 50-meter, 25-meter spacing. So this is the drilling that we've done is within 50-meter spacings to give us roughly what we're hoping between 150 to 200 million tons, 35,000 tons a day. All in operating costs on the tin side, this is mining, open pit, processing, shipping to the port. It's around $12 a ton in our model. And then on the epithermal side, it's about $3. The silver, lead, zinc operation next door would be open pit, around $14, $15 a ton operating cost. So if you can show $50 gross profit, combining the different metals after recoveries, and you can show $40, $50 per ton, and you've got 150 to 200 million tons outlined, that's where you get your $8-10 billion net asset value, which we can't say now until we officially come out with our PEA. And usually, rule of thumb, you're looking at a 0.3, 0.4, 30, 40% of that number. Divide that by your shares. I do it on a fully diluted basis. We've got about 105 million fully diluted, and that gives you some sort of empirical value per share. That's sort of the breakdown.
Wonderful. Well, we do have more questions for you, but we are out of time, so I'll send this to you so you can answer on your own. But thank you for this great update, Tom. We hope to see you again real soon.
Yeah, great seeing you again, Anna. Take care. Thank you.
All right, everyone. We'll be right back.